What's going on when it comes to Polkadot? Well, I'll tell you what's going on, even though nothing I say is financial advice. Its native token called DOT is below $2 yet again, and it's actually not doing so good, some people like to say. But there's two ways I take a look at this. The first perspective, which is not the perspective that I have, but it could be where I just become upset, I don't like it, I just give up. I could do that. But why haven't I done that? Because my second mindset is I'm looking to dollar cost average. And keep in mind, as of right now, DOT being nearly $1.90, that's nearing all-time low territory, right? That's nearing its all-time low levels in which we saw basically a couple months back, and that was at around $1.40. The thing is this, I'm looking to dollar cost average. So if someone told me that I'm able to dollar cost average into a project that I'm liking, right? A project that I like, I should say, but at near all-time low levels, why would that be such a major concern for me? Now, it's a major concern if my intention is to exit, but that's not my intention. My intention is to literally dollar cost average. So if a project that I do like is nearing all-time low levels, why would I be complaining? Keep in mind, this may not sound like a positive thing as of right now at all. However, what would my perception be if, let's say, for whatever reason, DOT went back to where it was years ago, back in 2021 at around $50? If it was at that point, and I take a look at how I was able to hypothetically dollar cost average maybe into DOT at below $2, would I be complaining? I don't know if I would at all, actually. The thing is this, if I take a look at it, an all-time low, we got to think about that, right? That means that was the lowest it's ever reached in the history of its existence. We saw that a couple of months ago, and we're back at almost that level. The thing is this as well, though. People like to tell me, okay, but why is the sentiment arguably better a couple months ago as opposed to right now, even though we saw an all-time low, but right now we're still slightly above the all-time low, but still people like to say, why is the sentiment not as good currently when compared to before? I think a major reason why is because of the prolonged timeline, right? Because of that timeline, just that prolonged sort of wait time, the sentiment back then was just a little bit better, even though the price was lower a couple months ago. But actually, my point of view is that the moment where I really want to focus on a project is when things are not doing the best. It's going to be easy for me to believe in a project later on. Like I could easily wait for DOT to maybe hypothetically go to like $5 again or something like that, or $10, but I don't want to do that. The reason why? It's because if I just give up right now, or if I ignore it, I wait for later, I just think about the journey right there. I don't want to just not be a part of that journey. That's the way to take a look at it. Keep in mind, like from right now to $10, we're over 5 times lower than that. I sometimes don't want to ignore a hypothetical journey like that. This is my mindset. So yes, things are not looking the best, but within this space, it does not cater well, I think, to some cases for a short-term mindset, right? Like if I'm looking to just dollar cost average once a month, my mindset has to be years in some cases. It's not going to be a couple months or a couple weeks. That's not the case. So I thought about it that way originally. So if I have to wait a little bit longer, I'm not going to be necessarily concerned. That's the way to take a look at it. And also, my kind of perception when it comes to Polkadot is that as long as the project is still fundamentally sound, I just don't want to give up. Keep in mind, sure, we're around 27 times lower than $50, but the thing is, Polkadot to me, right, I think is arguably the most popular project within the space of interoperability, or should I say a project that is focused on that. The thing is, Polkadot is not under such stiff competition. It has Axelar, but Axelar is way smaller. It has Cosmos, but Cosmos is just way smaller than this as well. So Polkadot is not really under such intense competition. That's not the case. So what would happen if there's hypothetically an altcoin season, if sentiments do change? The number one most popular that is going to be often defaulted to kind of be thought about is pretty much going to be Polkadot because it's just the most popular project within the space of interoperability. So I've not forgotten about that. The thing is this as well. When it comes to Polkadot, being this low, being like this as of right now, yet having the fundamentals that it has, Like, I just don't want to give up. That's not a recipe for me to give up on. Keep in mind, Polkadot recently, I think, did its biggest thing ever, right? Polkadot 2.0. But it was often ignored because altcoins were not doing the best. But I understand the kind of magnitude of something like that. I understand that that's a pretty big achievement, but it just wasn't the right timing when it comes to altcoins. But I think it was good timing nonetheless, because why wait to improve, right? If a project wants to improve, why not? Why wait? It's like personally for me, if I want to improve, I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to wait. I'm not going to wait for a certain time to improve. No. In the sense of altcoin side of things, in terms of the timing of the charts, people will like to say, oh, it's not the best. I'm totally aware of that, but we have to consider if there's an altcoin season, sometimes people take a look back at what a project did. And I think Polkadot 2.0 really does bring a lot more features, right? For instance, we see the aspects of elastic scaling. So I don't think it's necessarily such a bad thing at all. I think it's actually pretty awesome for me to see that. But the thing is, I just haven't seen an altcoin season. So I'm just going to wait. That's pretty much about it. And we have to consider as well, when it comes to Kusama, Polkadot's Canary network, it's still also not like forgotten about. I still see activity when it comes to that. I still see activity when it comes to Polkadot. Keep in mind, DOT, its native token, has over 1 million holders currently. So imagine this, right? I'm experiencing this, but also alongside over 1 million other individuals. And this is not even considering that this whole space overall, even if we don't take into consideration DOT at all, there's over 600 million owners currently within this space. So the thing is, I'm also experiencing what over 500 million other individuals are experiencing as of right now. I'm not telling anyone to do anything, by the way. Like, I could easily just leave at any time. There's no requirement for me to be here. I don't have to be here, actually. Like, I don't have to be holding DOT, but I'm voluntarily doing so because I like the fundamentals, and I feel like at a time when people ignore DOT, that's the time I want to be very focused on it, because when things are ignored, but they're still good, later on, when the market does hypothetically recover, a lot of people start randomly trying to chase trends, but I don't want to be that, right? I'm not in the mindset of trying to chase things. I'm in the mindset of trying to hypothetically stay consistent and just kind of be there. Instead of chasing, I would rather just be waiting. The thing for me is, it's like, for instance, if I'm surfing in the ocean, is it much better if I put myself in a position to catch the wave or try to chase a wave that's like 30 feet away? There's no way I could do that. I'm not Aquaman, right? It's much better for me to wait as opposed to chase. So I don't want to do that later, which is why I'm focused on it right now, even though I'm not telling anyone to do anything. However, sure, things could hypothetically maybe go lower. I have no control over that. But the thing is, if let's say maybe there's hypothetically an altcoin season, would I care about the moments in which a project I was holding dropped like 30, 40%? I don't know if that bothered me too much, because let's say in a make-believe scenario, like Bitcoin was like at around $10 and then randomly went to $2. Are the people still holding at around 100 grand not too long ago? Are they complaining about Bitcoin doing like a big dip a long time ago? Right? I'm just saying, like in a make-believe scenario. Or even as of right now still. Are they going to be complaining about that? I don't know if they would, but this is just my mindset. However, I want to say thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a very nice day. It's Mali the Captain, and I'll see y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.